So we are just rolling into 8:05. So let's have everyone find your 50%, or your 5 out of 10 at between 90 and 100 RPM. We're going to stay here for 5 minutes, putting a little bit of weight under the legs, but 50% is still your easy talking pace, a little bit below your sort of all-day group ride pace, which is more like a 60% or 6 out of 10. Turning nice circles here. Starting to feel the heat come through your lower body, your upper body. And once you've settled into that gear, we're almost at 1 minute in. Make note of your breathing. See if you can settle that down. And nice and relaxed upper body. So before we get going on our skills sets today, just a little housekeeping. It's really great to see everyone on the live stream. And you can ride any live stream, just so you know, by signing into them. So the key is just to make sure you sign in. So have fun with that. Also remember to subscribe to the YouTube. We'll have all these videos, plus all the other tag cycling training videos up on that channel, which you can do at any time. And after your ride today, remember to go into your Google Sheets and let us know what you're doing. All right, another 3 minutes here. So today we're going to be doing a skills day. We're going to be working on our RPM, our cadence, the revolution of our pedals per minute. And the importance of this, focusing on the higher cadences, is to improve our cycling efficiency. So what you may have noticed with some of your indoor cycling is when you're in the higher RPMs, you can achieve your higher wattage at a lower gear on your bike. So that is improving our cycling efficiency. We're able to get those higher watts without fatiguing our legs quite so much as if we were in a climbing cadence, for example, somewhere between 60 and 70. So we're going to be focusing a lot on that today, as well as some standing. So we're going to get it all in this morning. Just under 2 minutes, and we're going to begin our first drill, our first skills drill. We're going to be finding 50% where you're at right now, but dropping our cadence down to 80. We're going to move up the cadences by 1 minute increments, keeping our gear as it is, trying not to touch our gear, through 80, 90, 100, 105, and back down the same way we came up. And we're going to run through that twice. The goal being to really pay attention to how your legs are feeling at each cadence. We're starting at 50%, trying to keep that gear stable, but if you need to bring the gear down a little bit during the higher RPMs, do that. Just make sure you're making those RPMs. And for those without a cadence monitor on your bike, I'm going to have my legs going at the appropriate speed so you can follow along. So we're on in just under 30 seconds. Start slowing your legs down to 80, and then bringing your gear back up to 50%. We're on in 5 seconds at 50%, 80 RPM. 2, 1. Our first minute. This should feel nice and easy. We're rolling out from the studio with our group. We're not tackling any hills yet. We're not racing. So feel what these legs are doing at 80. This is your chance to check in on your pedal stroke. Make sure you're pedaling a complete circle. So pulling through the bottom and up through the back. In just over 5 seconds, we're moving up to 90 RPM. 3, 2, 1. Let's increase that leg speed. Try not to touch that gear. Not yet. And settle in. So this 90 RPM range, and your wattage output has probably gone up somewhere into your 60+ % range. This is more of your all-day riding cadence. It's been shown to be an optimal efficiency range for those longer rides, around low 90s and in and around your 60 to 70%. Another 10 seconds. We're going to go up to 100. 3, 2, 1. Another big jump, 100 RPM. If you need to bring your gear back a little bit, you can bring it back to that sort of 60, 70% range, but make sure you've got that 100 RPM. When we get up into these higher cadences, 100+, where for most of us that's overreaching a bit, we are engaging our slow twitch muscles. These use more of our fat stores. They don't burn our glycogen quite so fast, so we're able to endure longer at the higher cadences. And our last rise to 105. 3, 2, 1. Up, up. 105. Again, bring that power down a little bit if you need to. For those who've not touched their gear, you're probably in and around your 85. So we're touching on that here at the top. Have to make you sweat a little. We are increasing the flow of blood through our body. We're increasing our oxygen in our blood. It's all good. And in 5 seconds, we're back to 100. 3, 2, 1. Coming down the backside at this RPM pyramid. Finding 100. If you had reduced your gear, make sure you're keeping it back up into that 60, 70 range for now. We will end at 50%. 5 out of 10. And I hope you can tell that I'm riding this with you. I feel what you're feeling. Nice and steady, looking up the road. In 5 seconds, we're down to 90 RPM. 2, 1. Find 90 RPM. Everyone should be in that 60 to 70% range, whether you adjusted your gear or not. Making note how 90 feels now. Might have felt sticky on the way up. Should feel pretty comfortable on the way down. Nice work. Got 10 more seconds here. Then we're back to 80 RPM, 50%. We're gonna stay here for 2 minutes and go back up again. 2, 1. RPM down to 80 and match your gear to 50%. We're at the bottom of the first pyramid and then the start of the second. Do take this 50%. You don't need to be at 60. And 80 is a great RPM if you have no cadence monitor. You can count 20 pedal strokes per 15 seconds. Then you know you're on. Okay, we're just finished our first minute. So we are now at the bottom of ramp number 2. 80 RPM, 50%. Calm your breathing. Little check of the upper body. Bring in your power center. Let's do this work with our legs. So we're doing exactly what we did the first ramp. We're going up to 100, to 90, 100, 105, back down. Option to adjust your gear to keep it in that 60 to 70% range, or to go up gears as you go up RPMs. And 3, 2, 1. 90 RPM. Find it and hold. Look up the road. Feel what this feels like. This should feel a lot better this time round than the first time round, as we're touching up to these all day hour power numbers. Thinking about improving our overall efficiency for whatever kind of bike you ride. Mountain, gravel, road, tri. This is the sweet spot. And in 5 seconds, we're going up to 100. 3, 2, 1. 100 RPM. Find it and hold. Remember, you can bring that gear down into that 60-70% range if you're finding it hard to hold 100 RPM. Or leave the gear as is and moving up. Probably into your 7.5, 8 out of 10 right now. Bigger riders a bit more, smaller riders a bit less. Just thinking about those circles now. In 5 seconds, we're going up to the top at 105. 2, 1. 105. And if you feel like going a little faster, feel free. We've got just under a minute here. Top of our pyramid. Look up the road. Make sure your elbows are relaxed. We're not riding this fast with our jaw or our shoulders. We're riding with our legs. All of them. More seconds. See if you can bring that RPM up just a tiny bit. 1 or 2 rotations. My legs are around 106, 107 right now. We're back down to 105 seconds. 3, 2, 1. 100 RPM. Catch your breath. Settle in. This is a nice crisp cadence at a nice crisp 1 hour-ish pace for a lot of you. Visualize where you are. We're riding, where are we riding at 100 RPM? We're probably out in the valley, fairly flat, with our club or our riding friends. We got a nice pace line going. And down to 90 RPM. Slowing those legs down. For those from not around here, the Fraser Valley is about 45 minutes to an hour east of Vancouver, and it's farmland, largely flat, with some rolling hills. A very popular spot for cyclists. We're at 90 RPM, watts in and around 60 to 70. Likely. Now we're breathing slower, recovering. And 3, 2, 1, back to 80 RPM. And then find your 50%. Nice work, everyone. That's a solid cadence ramp. Generally more than we might do in an hour-long training session here at TAG. But this is a skills day. We're working on our leg speed. And in 15 seconds, you're gonna stay at 50%, but bring your cadence back up to 90 to 100. So you're going to be lowering your gear and increasing your leg speed. We have a couple minutes rest, an active rest. 2, 1. So hopefully you can see how your legs felt, how your cardiovascular system felt as you moved through the rotations, the RPMs, the cadence. Knowing that by training above our preferred cadence, which for many of you is probably in the low 90s, high 80s for some, a little bit higher for others. But by practicing that overreaching, our goal anyway, is to bring our preferred cadence up by an RPM or 2. So nice work. We're just gonna keep easy here at 50% for another 2 minutes. I can explain the second part of the skills day, where we find ourselves standing. Now you'll notice there was no RPMs specified. So what I want you to do, we're gonna set the gear at 90 and see how that goes, trying to maintain that. But once you're up and standing, I want you to be looking forward and not worrying too much about what your RPMs are doing. This is more about getting on top of your gear, and then when we sit for the 30 seconds, bringing it back to that preferred cadence if you've fallen off. So we're doing 6 sets, broken down into 2, 2, and 2. The first is at 70% watts, 7 out of 10, your hour power, standing for 30 seconds, sitting for 30 seconds, standing for 30, sitting for 30, then right into 60%, doing the same 30, 30, 30, 30, and then down to 50%. And what you're gonna notice is you're gonna need to engage your core as you drop your watts. It's much harder to stand in an easier gear. So that is our second skill set. We're gonna begin in 30 seconds. So if you can bring your gearing up to your 70%, 7 out of 10, call this approximately your hour power. Talking is not quite so easy at this pace. So finding 90 RPM, 70%. We're gonna be standing in under 10 seconds. Making sure that saddle is somewhere close to your inner legs. 2, 1, up off the saddle. 30 seconds. Relaxed elbows, looking up the road. Keep turning those circles, no clunking at the top. Smooth it out. Seating in 3, 2, 1. 30 seconds seated. Get back to that 90 RPM. 70%. We're catching back on here. And in 5 seconds, we're standing again. Second time through at 70. 3, 2, 1. Up off the saddle. If you can't stand because of injuries, continue to stay seated. Or come up just for a few seconds. Good work. Focusing through. We're looking up the road. Back to seated in 3, 2, 1. 70%, 90 RPM. We have 10 seconds left. Start finding your 60% number at this RPM. Bringing your gear down, probably 1 gear or so. And we're up off the pedals. 30 seconds, 60%. Adjust your leg speed here. You might be going a little faster. That's good. Staying steady. This is where it gets harder to turn those circles smoothly. 3, 2, 1, back to seated. You might find yourself above 90. That's fine. I'm at around 95 right now. We're seated at 60%. In 5 seconds, we're back up. 3, 2, 1. Standing for 30 at 60%. Let's go. We're stretching our hamstrings, giving our legs a little breather so we can get back on. Keep moving. Not too much weight on the hands. And 3, 2, 1, back to seated, 60%. Your preferred cadence above 90. I'm at 96, 97 for those following my legs. And with 5 seconds to go, let's find your 50%. And we're up off the pedals. Now you're really light on those pedals, and they are really going. Your RPMs are probably over 100, but don't look. Wait till you sit. Stay smooth. This is where you really need to focus on pulling the foot through the bottom and up the back. We're seated in 3, 2, 1. Seated at 50%. Your preferred cadence. I'm now over 100. Working on that threshold. It's nice to be up here. We're standing now. Our last 30 seconds standing. 50%. Looking up the road. Just focus on those circles. Right through. Then we have our last 30 seconds seated. And 3, 2, 1. 30 seconds seated. 50%. Whatever speed your legs are going. I'm over 100. 10 more seconds. Three, 2, 1. And ease it off. So that is 30 minutes. We have a couple minutes to go here, just under, finding a nice easy cadence, nice easy gear. If you're staying on longer, keep riding. You can move it back up to that 50, 60. But if you're done for the day, let's spin out. Finally, today's draw prize, which will be announced in the next couple days, happens to be a vegan or a plant-based athlete primer for 30 minutes. It happens to be with me, so I feel a little awkward saying that. But what we'll do is just have a look at what plant-based athletes do to fuel a day on the bike or at the gym for an event or just for day-to-day life. We'll just touch on some key topics like protein, macronutrients, fiber, and fueling. It'll be fun. Time for some Q&A too. So thank you very much for joining us this morning, or whatever time of day you're at. It's been super fun, super sweaty. And every day this week, we're back at 8:05. Sometimes you can find a class ahead of that if you want to extend your workout. And we are signing off now. Have a good day, everyone.